Hi everybody, my name is Madeleine Parker. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to do a tarot scope study on the current astrology, which with a focus on the upcoming full moon in the sign of Libra. So what is all that going to be about, and what is that going to bring us, and how is that going to affect our lives in the near future? Well, let's start with the fact that Libra is a sign of balance. It is also the sign of relationships. It's the sign of close personal relationships. It rules the 7th house in astrology, and in order for relationships to succeed, there's a certain amount of balance that has to take place. So that is the energy of Libra. It is the scale, it is the Justice card in the tarot deck, and it represents evening out and finding a balance between the two forces. And the opposing force is the Sun, which is going to be in the sign of Aries. So wherever these two houses fall in your chart are going to be where balance is going to be discovered and found, but also the moon is going to illuminate where you are out of balance in your relationships. And that is something that has to always reveal itself so that we can be successful in our relationships. If we are out of balance, then we experience struggle and contrast and lack of harmony, and also sort of a lack of progression, although in the world of spiritualism, unbalance is part of the process of balancing, and it is always part of life to fall out of balance and then to find your balance again. So let's look at this full moon as an effort that the universe is putting into our lives to rebalance our world and ourselves in a relationship, because the Sun is in Aries, which is all about ourselves, and we're balancing that out within the world in context with relationships. So let's have a look and see what the cards want to say about all of that. And I am going to go through each of the 12 signs so that you can see what two houses are being realigned to each other for you. And we will go through that because I have my notes here. I do astro card reads. I look at people's charts. I do personal reads, and I do personal astrology charts to find out your best relationships, best alignment, for your best destiny, best aligned actions for your future. So if you want a personal read and a check into your astrology, you can email me. I will put my email below. All right, let's get into it now. And before I look at the houses, I'm going to see what the general message is from the cards that will help us understand the way to balance and work with this energy. Calling in highest guides and angels to be with us in this read so that we may be higher guided, so that we may bring clarity to others, so that they may also be higher guided, to align in the best actions that will align them with their highest best destiny and highest best versions of themselves. All right, let's take a look and see what is in line for us all on this beautiful Libra full moon. I'm going to cut it twice. 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. We will find out. 10 of Cups, Queen of Swords. Interesting. Sun card. Wow, there's your Aries Sun. Wow, this card is my secret card that represents inner union, divine union. It can also mean a twin flame, or it can also mean just your own energetic in alignment unions. It's just one of the little secret cards I put in when I'm reading for people, and that's how I know if they have a twin flame, if they're in a twin flame dynamic, so that the cards can help you through that, because it's one of the most challenging dynamics in love. So wow, look at that. Interesting read. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to pull some clarifiers on this. Interesting. We really are finding more alignment with, I want to say, most relationships, because Libra, we're talking about the planet of Libra. Venus. So we've got, I didn't want to leave it out the fact that Venus is in this picture, because Venus is conjuncting the Sun right now. at the same time that Mars and Rahu are connecting, and Mars and Rahu is really going to motivate people to their true, redefine their true purposes, knowing what are the best actions to go forward with that puts them in alignment with their true purpose, redefining the way they operate towards their true purpose, because Mars is all about action. Mars rules Aries. So if you look at the Sun right now conjunct Venus with Mars over Rahu, the North Node, we're really looking at sort of a commission, putting relationships, and they don't have to be romantic, they can be business partnerships, coming in so you're balancing out relationships that are in partnerships that are going to take you forward on your North Node, that are going to project you, that energy in Mars on your North Node. It's going to motivate you to team up in wherever your North Node and whoever you're supposed to team up with. So it's sort of going to align relationships to help you go forward on your mission. And a lot of times that's twin flames. Twin flames are here for missions. So it looks to me like we're really talking in astrology about energies. So whether you see something materialize in the 3D or not in the actual week of the full moon isn't necessarily what you will see. What you might see is a shift in attitude, because this is what this read says. We're shifting our whole sort of toxic, we're quitting a toxic attachment to these relationships. Because if you've got a mission with somebody and that your soul knows is going to be in alignment with a relationship in order to take the mission forward, and the relationship, there's sort of toxic patterning in relationships that have to be cleared in order for these higher vibrational missions to occur, because you can't have attachment energy. So in this Libra full moon, you're going to see where your attachments to these relationships are fear-based, and that they hold you back. And it's sort of, so what we're going to do in this, we're going to reveal, this full moon is going to see, that's why these are darker cards, because the full moon is going to reveal where we are holding ourselves back from a lot of fun, a lot of joy. The Leo, the Sun, rules the 5th house, is the house of joy. So you're really quitting in this area a energy that gives you low self-esteem, that makes you feel like you have to hold on to these relationships and that's really stopping a sense of freedom, because relationships really hold together on their own force, with a divine force. Each person in the relationship has their own set of wings, and they fly and come to you in their own will. And so all relationships, the battle between the self and the relationship is to not use the self-will over the relationship. And that's what's happening. And so if you need to detach, you have to take space from the relationship. You have to almost reject the relationship. But in a way, that's changing too. And we're breaking free. We're having mental, you see, because this is the mind space, that Gemini, Mars in Gemini is about communication, ideas, action, and then we get the Sun in Aries again, which is a very initiation energy, new initiation. So we've got this new initiation occurring, the energies that want to go forward. So we're clearing, we're clearing. Look at that, boom, Tower card on the moon, which is like clearing old repeat cycles of karma that cause triggering, that cause you to not go on your adventure because you have walls up of fear. So it's kind of like this full moon is going to reveal where you're keeping these relationships at bay out of fear. And that's going to tower. It's almost like this revelation occurs. We get this card here, which is all about revelations, realizing how we've been keeping ourselves in a dark place in our divine relationships that are in our heart. So divine wants us to hang in there. This card here really means emotional balance. This again means emotional balance, being at calm, being at peace, not having fear attachment to relationships, not trying to control them so that your mission is successful because you're in your mind space and you have ideas of how you have to control the relationship for it to be successful, when really all you have to do is let the wings of the relationship bring in the success, the freedom of that. Now we've got these fears around psychic abilities, or fears around the occult, or fears around a spiritual connection, it being too intense, fears about intimacy, letting people in close. And this is what we're breaking out of. We're ending these walls that are holding us back from the Knight of Wands, the adventure, and it just creates pain. We're just creating cycles of pain in relationships. And that's that Tower card on the Devil, which is, that's all ego. That's why I get the Queen of Swords in the head spot. We're quitting these toxic ideas about relationships and blaming them and seeing how our ego is the biggest sort of wall and barrier to our ability to unite with partners that are supposed to help project us forward onto our missions. Then we get, this card comes next, this, and then we'll look at these. So we are looking at financial progression. Now remember, we have Mercury in the sign of Gemini right now, and we do have Mars in the sign, I'm sorry, we have Mercury in Pisces. Sorry, Mercury's in a water sign, right? Is Mercury in Pisces still? Yes, Mercury's in Pisces still, going to go into Aries. It is squaring Mars on the Rahu, so North Node. So communication is very much a part of this clearing of this negative cycle, because it's our communication that causes the problems in our relationships. So with Mercury in Pisces, we've got this honesty, we've got this, and again, Pisces is a karmic clearing house, so we're really looking at the way we communicate in our relationships. Is it productive? Does it help the relationship forward? Or does it cause us to have to turn away and create balance alone before we can return to the relationship? Or can we create balance and communication in the relationship without causing it to separate? That is a big part. That is the struggle, because the growth here with this new moon cycle is the balance between Aries and Libra. It's about balance between your selfish desires, what you want, what's right for you, and what you need, and then you've got to look at the relationship dynamic and what is good for the relationship. And there's a balance here that has to be sought. And when you do that balance, when you perfect that balance, not that we ever perfect it, but when you reach to achieve a better balance, you will achieve better relationships. And that is something that we are all here to learn to do. We really are here to learn to grow in relationships. Alrighty, so I'm going to look at all the houses now so we can go through all the 12 signs. And remember, this is in alignment with your ascendant. So we're going to start with Aries. The sun is in Aries, so that means the moon, because the moon is opposite the sun right now in the new moon, in full moon, so that means the moon is going to be in Libra, right? So that is a basically dynamic between the self and our relationships. So somewhere in your chart you have Libra and Aries access in your chart. So let's take a look. For Aries, of course, the sun is going to be in your 7th house of Libra, opposite your ascendant, if you're Aries ascendant. So that is going to be a period in your time where you're going to start seeing the need to self-sacrifice for your relationships more. You're going to need to balance that out more, Aries, I'm afraid. We're going to pull a card here for Aries. You've got Aries have got Mercury in their 12th house, Venus in their 1st house. This is karma, communicating better karmically to create better karma in your relationship. Mars in your 3rd house, communication again. Gemini, creating better relationships, business relationships through communication. Intelligence, intellectual, creating more harmony through communication. 11th house, Jupiter, probably out in the world, feeling more confident now, perfecting your ways of creating clean karma with your relationships. Saturn in your 11th house, again, creating more career advancements through community, through coming out. There's your Wheel of Fortune, there's your Rahu. So that's going on to your mission with a sense of community and not from a place of selflessness, because remember, the 11th house is also Aquarius, which is the opposite of Leo, and Leo again is a similar thing. It's like Leo is about self-expression, self-confidence, and now we're going out into the world with that. The 11th house opposite Aquarius, which is for the people. So it's almost like Aries are going to see the need to go towards servicing the greater whole. So we're going to stop it at Saturn. I won't do the outer planets, although we do have Rahu here in your 3rd house, again, conjuncting Mars. So this is your mission time, communication, getting out there, guys. ending that negative cycle that kills your ideas. This is negative patterning thinking. That's very much clearing the karma, that negative self-talk about stuff. We've got to all clear that, and then you're going to feel very inspired and enthusiastic to go after what you really truly want. Possibly travel or leaving this emotionally unstable past behind. This is a big shifting point for a lot of people here. Then we're going to do Taurus. So for Taurus, it's in your 6th and 12th. So you've got the sun in your 12th house. You're going to really look at how you on a day-to-day basis, how your habits are on a day-to-day basis, throwing you out of alignment in relationships. And it's going to have something to do with the way that you think, because we have Mars in your 2nd house, which is possessions and finances. But then we have Rahu also in your 2nd house, which is going to be coming up with a new idea, possibly to change a day-to-day way of living that puts you, that clears a karma in your relationships. So it's like breaking a habit of communicating in a way that blocks your new journey. So this full moon might be kind of hard, because it's gonna shine a light on what we do wrong in relationships. And when I say wrong, I don't mean anything to be ashamed of or to beat yourself up over, but something that you can change. Okay, now we're gonna look at Gemini. You guys have this full moon. The sun is going to be in your 5th, Gemini, 5th and 11th. You've got the sun in your 11th house, shining, how revealing with this full moon, 7th and 5th, 11th and 5th, will be how you, Gemini, let's look at where Rahu hits your 1st and Mars. So this is how you self-express, and how you maybe are a little selfish in your relationships, because it's hitting in your 5th. The moon is hitting in your 5th, revealing selfishness. And then we go to Venus in your, I'm sorry, where are we? Are we on Leo? Gemini. So we're looking at your, Venus is in your 11th, the sun is in your 11th, conjuncting Venus. By the way, I keep forgetting to mention this Venus conjunct Sun thing is quite powerful. They really power each other up here. 5th house, Leo, is ruled by the sun. So you're really looking at your ideas. I would say with Gemini, you've cleared quite a bit of karma here, because I'm not getting a lot of karmic energy on this. So Geminis might have really, because let's look at Mercury in your 10th house. You're really learning to communicate better. You're really ready. It almost feels like Gemini, you guys are kind of cleared up, actually. You've done quite a bit of communication work already. Mars and Rahu in your sign. I think you're taking a new initiation. Let's pull some cards for Gemini. You're going to look at how you put your walls up here, and how there is a way for you to make more money in a group, in a collective way that is supportive for the whole collective. Actually, you're motivating more you want to serve the community more. Cancer, I got to go through these. I can get really into each sign. So for Cancer, we've got the 10th. This is a 4th and 10th axis. It's career and home, and it's balancing out your mission and your home life. And so we've got the sun in your 10th house. So I would say for Cancer, your careers are going to be very supported right now. You're at the top of the chart. Sun is the top of your chart. You're going to be really motivated. I'm Cancer ascendant. I feel it. You're going to be feeling quite motivated. And home, you're going to find a balance between home and family. You're probably going to clear karma, communication karma with home, so that you can be cleared up of some of your old karma in communication with family. Also, karmic attachments to family are going to clear up, because you're going to get a light shining on your dysfunctionality and lack of balance in family. Perhaps you try too hard for your family. You toxically hold on to your family too much. So you're going to be releasing that. You're going to see your karmic patterning in that. And again, with the sun in Aries, you're going to be more confident to be yourself in your career. And there's like a balance between these two worlds, where you have to be who you are, and your family doesn't accept who you are. The career accepts who you are, so your family, so you've got this tug of war. So you have to sort of break free from needing your family to validate you, and then go forward and be the leader that you need to be in your career, because you have Aries over your 10th house. You're always going to be a career leader. All right, now let's jump into Leo. We've got Leo. Leo, we're looking at it here. We've got Leo 3rd. You've got this, the moon is going to be Libra, covers your 3rd house. So the moon is going to be in Libra, and the sun is going to be in your 9th house. And what does that mean? That means you're going to possibly travel, guys. You might be traveling communication, plus we've got Mars is very much a third house. Gemini is that third house energy. So let's take a look at Mars for you. Mars for you guys is in your 9th house. I'm sorry, Venus is in your 9th house. Mars is in your 11th house. 9th house, Venus, Sun, 9th house. You may travel or get more ideas to travel or bring travel into your social media or communication in the world. 3rd house, possibly start a business with a partner. You could start a business or a relationship. Mars, communication. You're gonna, but clearing. Let's see. You're gonna see your. But the moon is going to reveal your fears of communicating and being who you really need to be in these business relationships in order to sort of expand into a higher knowledge. So you're going to have to take more risks and not be afraid of upsetting maybe business relationships, because you got the sun in your 9th house, which is about higher knowledge, wisdom. It's almost like you're going to be brave to step out and initiate things in the social media world, because if Rahu is in your 11th house, or out in the world, out in the public, so it's like you're expanding, taking your ideas and business ideas, and Mars and Rahu are helping you bring it out into the social public media world. So it's like a confidence increase. So your karma clearing with this. Where's Pisces here for you guys? Mercury in the 8th house. Fears, yeah, very much fears about being your authentic truth, and almost coming out as sort of a more spiritual perspective, or higher knowledge, or higher, like taking a lead to be more communicative about higher concepts in the world, higher beliefs, ideas. Virgo. Let's look at Virgo. With Virgo, we've got this 2nd house, finances, 8th house, fears around money, revealing your relationship with money and other people in your relationships with money, and how you need to balance out your fear and attachment to possibly relationships around finances. And then we get this all happening in your 8th house, revealing your dysfunctional attachments in relationships, but also having a breakthrough, a death and rebirth, causing you to possibly expand financially, but also showing you your toxicity in this dynamic between relationships and finances. 10th house, Rahu, North Node. So we also have Mars in your 10th house. So this is going to take new initiations for your careers. Once you're going to upgrade your low self of belief about your ability to self-sustain in the world. You're going to see you can start taking actions to go into mission, and it may involve, most likely involving relationships. All of this, by the way, is going to involve relationships. Let's just put that out there. Libra, let's go into Libra. So you guys, it's in your 1st house. You're going to become very aware of your imbalances in relationships. Even though Libras on the whole tend to be self-sacrificial, the light is going to illuminate, the moon and sun are illuminate your imbalances in relationships. It's very simple for you, Libra. This full moon is going to make you very aware of, because Libras aren't really the most selfish people, but I think what happens is in Libra there's a tug of war between the two, so you have to find a balance between these two forces. Where are you unable to be in a relationship because you can't balance your own issue, or maybe you lose yourself in a relationship, so you can't be who you really are in relationships. It's like this balance between who I really am and being out in the world as an initiator and a go-getter and a starter, and then relationships. So it looks like in relationships you're going to be more in your heart space here. You're much more empowered about being who you truly are. It looks like you guys are going into some kind of union. A lot of relationships may be instigated at this period. Also pregnancy, by the way, 5th house for Gemini. Watch out. Pregnancies, anytime you got 5th house, you could get pregnant. But for Libra, it looks like you're ready to commit to relationships. You're ready to put your heart into it. You're going to find a balance where you don't lose yourself in relationships. That's the problem with Libras. They tend to lose who they are, and they lose their own definition in a relationship. All right, moving along now to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, 12th house, Saggies. Am I right about that? It's 12th and 6th. So this is karma around work. So karma around being of service. So showing you how you clear your maybe possible fear attachments out of balance towards, Sagittarians work too hard. They tend to have a sort of pushy, they tend to go, wait, I'm sorry, we're on Scorpio. Sorry, I jumped. So Scorpio, this is a karmic fear, karma, clearing out, 6th house, Mercury in the 5th house, Venus, both of these in your 6th house of day-to-day health. This could be healing, toxicities, communication and relationships, causing toxicity. 8th house, Mars and Rahu in your 8th house. And then we got this 12th house. This might be a tough one for Scorpio because you really are clearing, I would say some death and rebirth will occur on your, possibly your I would say a mission. Let's see, because we've got that 6th house. So it's about work, it's about day-to-day living, and it's about clearing, it's about, let's see, so it's about sort of a lack of trust in because we got 8th house, Mars got to be in your 8th house. Where's my Mars? 8th. So it's sort of like taking your mission forward and going forward, possibly in a relationship, but also other financial funding, and fears about lack of faith in who you are on a day-to-day basis, and becoming more aligned with a deeper truth about who yourself on a day-to-day basis, creating better day-to-day habits that make you healthier. Look, there's the health card. So yeah, this could be a very health-centered, healing full moon where your day-to-day habits are yeah, this is all about self-nurture. This came out, taking yourself, healing. There you go. That's a really good message. So you're kind of healing past life trauma, karma that you do, that you self-destruct, things you do that are not good for yourself, that are based in attachment fears, that are not trusting in the divine. All right, Saggies, 5th house, 11th, yay, relationships. So we've got sun shining on your 5th house. You could get pregnant too if you're in pregnant age. 5th house, 11th house. So that could be relationship missions involving, creative missions involving partners, because it's the 5th house. This is very much about the mission, 5th house. It's the child or the relationship going forward on a creative venture. We've got these in your 3rd house, businesses. So we've got your 11th house showing you how you're out of balance in your relationships and out in the public. And where's 4th house here? Plus we've got that 4th house, right? Access. I'm sorry, what's in the 4th house? Rahu is in your, what, did I have that wrong? Rahu, Mars, where's Mars? Mars is in your 7th, and Rahu is in your 7th. Very much a relationship balancing issue where you kind of run off without your relationships, because Sagittarius kind of do that. So you're going to learn to communicate in Pisces over your 4th house right now. You're going to learn to communicate more honestly at home with your family, and then you're going to sort of clear relationships up. But things could go forward towards mission in a relationship, and that you bring out into social media. But you're clearing your imbalances and addictions or your attachments or how you're out of balance in that dynamic. So I would say you're bringing the two worlds more together in that energy. Let me throw some cards for Sagittarians here. Ooh, yeah, you're much more in your power around relationships. I would say you've released, because there's no really hard houses here for you guys. Maybe the third is a little challenging, but these looks like kind of a peaceful, calm, joyful way forward towards a mission involving the community coming out more with a relationship mission. I mean, that's another message that we're getting here with Mars in your 7th house, activating, and that's your Rahu, activating a relationship co-mission, and it's creative and joyful and fun. But you also have learned to communicate better, Sagittarians, in your 4th house of Pisces. You're clearing karma there, and you're starting to communicate from a more heartfelt, honest place. And now we're going to go for Capricorn. We're going to pull a few cards here for Capricorn. We've got 10th and 4th. So again, similar to what Cancer have to do, Capricorn have been out of alignment with their mentality and their thought space around finances, and they're letting go of their ego, fear attachments, security attachments. Wow. So that's almost a relationship with the divine, but it's the relationship with your family and your work, and realizing that Capricorn has such a tendency to work so hard to the point that they don't know where they're going. They don't evaluate if they're headed the right way. So they're more in their power financially letting go of fear attachments and being able to really take their mission forward here, because we've got, let's see, where's Mars is in your Capricorn. Mars is in your 6th, day-to-day healing energy practices in your 6th Rahu. So you could go forward as a healing mission that you do, career and family. So you're gonna heal an out of balance. You've worked too hard and thrown your body out of balance. So you're going to heal that, and you're going to find more balance in work, and you're going to let go and let the divine, you're going to let go of your ego control of your career, and you're going to sort of, Mercury in Pisces in your 3rd house, you're probably just going to start being less, I want to say, manipulative about career situations. And you're going to be more sort of devoted to a higher calling, because that battle between the self and your career at home is going to be more harmonized, so that you bring more of that home energy into your career, spiritual sort of calm and confidence, or spiritual devotion and trust, that you don't have to sort of control everything. And you can let the relationships in your family just sort of flow. You let go. And now we go to Aquarius. Aquarius is in, we've got 9th house and 3rd. Sun is in your 3rd, shining over ways of communicating. Again, we've got Gemini activation with Mars in Gemini, Mercury squaring Mars in Gemini, in Pisces. So for you guys, we're really looking at heart space. King of Cups comes out. So we're looking at like communication more from the heart space, motivating more as a calling, empathic, shifting into a more empathic energy. So we've got this 9th and 3rd. So it's almost like, but again, it's in relationships and self. So it's almost like you're becoming motivated to communicate. Let's look at your Mars really quick. Mars is in your 5th house of relationships with Rahu in your that's going to be Rahu. So you may be wanting to learn to communicate more in a way that harmonizes and creates more expansion in the world, a higher philosophy, and you're going to become more possibly proactive in communicating, possibly starting small businesses in relationships that bring higher consciousness to the world, which is actually what Aquarians are for, I think. Aquarians are your light workers. We've got this all in the 5th house. So it's going to be fun and joy. You're creating more joy in your work. You're out of balance with being so serious, and now you're going to create more fun. 3rd house is Gemini. It's more fun and playful. And then there's this 8 of Swords popping up. So again, you're leaving that. These are the fears that create you to feel constricted. It's that Saturn, you're ruled by Saturn, so you got to kind of go to the positive aspect of Saturn, which is to cause positive change and break through, to create new structures that are more empowering to the liberation of the people, and you know, create change and a new future and new bright. So you see, this is ideas and businesses, 3rd house. So higher ideas and philosophies around relationships, how to take things forward into the world that do open people's minds and create better joy in your life and in the world. Don't forget the Sun in Aries is on your 3rd house, shining on your communications, out of balance communications. But again, it's also small businesses, careers. It's entrepreneurial, it's siblings. So on the whole, you're becoming illuminated to a higher way of operating in a smaller world, like bringing higher consciousness into the smaller world. But also you're becoming aware of how you've been out of alignment consciously. All right, so now we are doing Pisces. Pisces have it in their 8th and 2nd. So they're illuminating, they're out of balance in relationships and their fears around physical attachments to relationships. But we've got Mars, we've got Mercury in your sign, so you're possibly releasing fears of communication and being honest and clearing karma around your finances and relationships, possibly clearing karma about, because that's your 8th house, fears around finances and trusting in the divine, and that the divine supports you, and that you've been out of alignment with your finances, fears around your finances, because we are looking at the second house. The sun is shining on your second house, so you're seeing how out of alignment you've been with your finances and your dependency on sort of like, let's go to Mars here really quick. Mars is in your fourth house, Rahu in your fourth house. So it's almost like you're breaking free from, you're letting go and letting yourself you're not trying to control your future financially. You're going after, let's look at the bottom. So in other words, you're not letting your lack of finances restrict you anymore. And you're releasing, you're seeing how your fears, it's like it's okay to lend, it's okay to borrow money for a while. Pisces are sort of really flowy, ebb and flow people. They're really supposed to surrender. So you really are supposed to just surrender to the universe and not let your fears of control. We're going first, and remember, we're in Aries and Libra, so you've got the sun in Aries where you're trying to control your money, and you've got the Libra in a relationship. So this is really a lot to do with your relationships with money and family and home, and how you have low self-esteem around it, and how you can release it, because it is going to take you further. You can't trust the divine here. The divine will provide and set you free, even if you are somewhat financially dependent here, because that was your cards. So you haven't had hope on that, but there's hope. You're going to see hope for your finances here. It's 8 and 2nd. That's really good. You're going to see your imbalances of how you activate with money and in relationships, and how it's okay. It's not bad karma to have financial support from other places and other people. It's a temporary thing sometimes to get you ahead. And this is very much, I know a lot of Pisces in my life who are financially supported, because Scorpio over your 8th house, it's your karma. You get to, it's okay. And so you have to have, you want to embody good self-esteem around finances and in relationships with other people. It's okay to have ebbs and flows in that direction. All right, well, I hope this was really helpful. I'm going to pull one more card from the moon. Actually, I'll pull three. Have faith in your dreams. That's that Rahu and Mars. Oh, I never like this card. I always want to, nothing will come of this situation. Look at a bigger picture. So in other words, this moon is going to bring our ability to expand our hopes around something that felt too hard to do. Because, you know, when we follow our Rahu, sometimes it seems impossible when you follow your North Node. And where Mars is right now, it's activating your North Node. It's getting you into motion. And so you have to look at the bigger picture. Sagittarius always are ahead, looking at the future, right? We're always looking at I'm Sagittarius. We're always looking at a big goal. Well, don't feel like if it can't happen now, it can't happen. This full moon is going to reveal that it can happen, that we can do it. And nothing is set in stone. We're always moving. And fiery, look at that, full moon in Aries, and then, communication is key. So we are looking at lots of communication that takes us forward onto our missions, that opens things that appeared to be stuck because we couldn't find a balance in these relationships. And this full moon is going to illuminate where we have not been able to balance in our relationships, and that have prevented us from taking us forward in situations that look like nothing would happen. So we're learning to communicate, we're learning to clear our karma in our communications, to create better contact, to create better balance with ourselves, in our relationships, in the world, and being ourselves. Aries is about being yourself, initiating and creating harmony in our relationships. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.